When your power goes out, remember just how inconvenient your life can be. No lights, no refrigeration, no heating or cooling, no electronics. But with a Generac home standby generator, you'll have power when you need it. Our Generac generators automatically provide backup power after sensing a power outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Get a free 10-year warranty with the purchase of any air-cooled generator. Call Generac Generators today. Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power.
Streaming from the Tampa Bay 28 Weather Center in Studio A, this is Dennis Phillips Live. Brought to you by Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power.
How you doing, everybody? It is a Monday evening edition of Dennis Phillips Live. Hope you had a great weekend. We have got so much stuff to talk about. And as always, we are pretty much streaming everywhere. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are on TikTok. We are on Instagram. Oh, wait a minute. Are we on Instagram? Did I hit go yet for Instagram? Yep, we are on Instagram. We are obviously on the spot right now as well. I'm looking over. Yep, we're on TV. And hopefully we're in your home as well, because a lot of folks have been taking advantage of the way that we have kind of like a multi-platform thing going here. We have TV on one stream, we have Q&A on the other, and that Q&A could be really helpful. So if you're just kind of used to hanging back and maybe flipping through the channels on TV, you're like, oh, hey, what's he got to talk about? We don't have any hurricanes to talk about, so what's he got to talk about? Oh, tonight we have a special guest. Now, you may have noticed we've had a lot of guests on DPL lately because there ain't been no weather. So, I mean, if you don't got any weather, how am I going to fill 30 minutes? So we've had a lot of things that go on in the Bay Area. Well, tonight we are going to have sports broadcasting legend Rock Riley. And I say that because, look, I started here in November of '94, and Rock started at WDAE in radio January of '94. So we kind of have a similar timeline here. And we're going to talk about, because, well, first of all, you know, the Bucs draft is coming up. The NFL draft is in Pittsburgh coming up on Thursday. We're going to talk about that. We're going to answer all your questions. We're going to ask them where we think the Bucs may go, what direction they may go, whether they're going to take offense, whether they're going to take defense, which makes a lot of sense. And we're also going to talk about the Bolts, because if you're watching on the spot, y'all may have heard once or twice this season that we are now the official broadcast home of the Tampa Bay Lightning right here on the spot. So a little bit of everything. And, oh, by the way, the Rays have been doing pretty well as well. I don't know if you happened to catch the game on Saturday night when the Rays went up against Paul Skeens, and they can thank Mother Nature for that victory, because Paul Skeens was shutting them down, as Paul Skeens does to most everybody, and then all of a sudden it poured. And after 4 2/3 innings or whatever it was, they had about an hour-and-a-half rain delay. When there's a long rain delay, you rarely, if ever, bring back your starting pitcher, especially that early in the season. They brought the bullpen in, and the Rays proceeded to jump on the bullpen, scoring 5 runs, went to extra innings, went to really extra innings. I believe it was 13 innings before the Rays finally won in a great game, 8-7. I was at Disney World, literally Magic Kingdom, following along on my phone while the fireworks were going on, and they're on the castle. There were all these lights, and I'm literally looking at my phone, just hitting refresh, seeing what was going on. So we do have a lot of weather to talk about. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into weather, answer your questions as always. Daniel, how you doing? Good to see you. Interested if the Bucs may be looking at the tight end from Oregon, what Daniel is mentioning. Beverly Hills is in the house. We've got Shannon. We've got lots and lots of folks in the house. Pittsburgh's in the house as well. Home of the NFL draft coming up this Thursday. Sherry in Palm Harbor, good to see you. And Charlotte's asking if we have anyone coming in from the Green Thumb Festival this week. I have no idea. You know Jocelyn, my producer/handler, is now taking care of all that stuff. She just sends me a text and says, Dennis, this is what you're doing this weekend. It's awesome. So here's what I want to do. Let's go ahead and jump into what's happening out there weather-wise, because in case you didn't know, I just issued a snuggle alert for tomorrow morning. You're like, what? What? Let me tell you, it's not that it's going to be that cold, but compared to what we've been experiencing, you're going to step out the door tomorrow morning and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, turn right back in and get your jacket or your hoodie. It is going to be in the upper 40s to lower 50s tomorrow in our northern counties. And after a heat wave, you will notice it. Obviously, we're still dealing with fire dangers. You've got your red flag warning here. What does that mean? It just means it's going to be windy and it's going to be low humidity. So really has nothing to do with fires per se in that forecast, but for our area with a drought, when you have low humidity and high winds, that leads to the better chances of fire dangers. And so there's the drought monitor. The Panhandle and the Big Bend area, they're having it worse than us, a lot worse than us. Matter of fact, pretty big fire was just north of Gainesville. Still not completely contained, but almost. And there were some evacuations that were going on just north of downtown Gainesville, not on the campus. I know we got a lot of folks from UF who watch. And my son going to UF coming up in the fall. So we will still be giving our FSU coverage for storms, even though my son has graduated at FSU. And now we have another one, a new one going to UF. But there's a look at radar. Nothing new there. We all know how dry it's been. We all know how dry it's going to continue to be until early June, with temperatures right now upper 70s to low 80s. It's gorgeous outside. I mean, look, I know we have the drought. I know we have the fire dangers. But, man, the humidity's low. It feels beautiful. We hit the low to mid-80s today with lots of sunshine. I mean, there it is right now, Tampa, looking out over Ray J. Rack, you were telling me the draft party is going to be in St. Pete?
Central Ave.
Central Ave coming up on Thursday. We'll talk more about that because, you know, usually everything's going on over at Ray J. So we'll talk about, but there is a look at Ray J. Humidity on the low side at the airport, northeast winds at 13 miles an hour. 83 the high, the morning low dropped down to 65. That's about right for this time of the year. Becky, how you doing? Nice to see you. Kathy, same thing. Denise like, oh man, there goes my pool water temperature down, just for one. Oh, and Charlotte's mentioning family in Gainesville said the smoke is really terrible around town. I've heard that from a lot of people as well. So there's a look at the satellite and the radar. Clear skies tomorrow. Beautiful day. I mean, it will be beautiful. We're always worried about the fire dangers, but man, it's going to be a nice day. There's a look at Futurecast. A little bit of cloud cover out there on Wednesday. Did you guys see the ring around the sun on Sunday afternoon? It's called a 22-degree halo. You get like all these ice crystals, these clouds made of ice crystals, cirrus clouds. And when the sunlight, or the moonlight, by the way, it works with moonlight as well, refracts through those ice crystals, it does so at a 22-degree angle, and you have a ring around the moon or the sun. It often means that there is a front on the way. I sometimes say there's rain on the way, but we all know that's a pipe dream. That's not going to happen. Even though the models do show on Wednesday there could be a sprinkle, I do think there's a better chance the end of the week and into the weekend. So there's a look at tomorrow morning. There they are. I am issuing a snuggle alert. Snuggling is not mandatory. It is voluntary. So just remember that. Low to mid 60s tomorrow in Pinellas, but mid to upper 50s. Central and southern Hillsborough, low to mid 50s from Lutz to Wesley Chapel. The WC going to drop down to 55, 54 in Dade City, 54 in Brooksville. Crystal River, 50 degrees, and I would not be shocked if we see an upper 40 in a spot or two. The rest of the area, upper 50s to lower 60s, and then the warm-up returns by the end of the week into the weekend, highs in the upper 80s. Rain chances, yeah, slim to none. 10% maybe south of I-4 on Friday into the weekend. And there's a look at your forecast tonight. Clear, pleasant, really nice sleeping weather. You could open up the windows unless you live in an area that's still dealing with the smoke, which is quite a few spots. 73 the water temperature with choppy conditions out on the bay tomorrow. The beach forecast looks amazing. Highs around 80. And there's a look at the 7-day. Highs in the low to mid 80s. mid to upper 80s by the end of the weekend, and absolutely gorgeous weather by then. All right, so after this break, we'll be back in 90 seconds to talk to local sports legend Rock Riley about any sport, including the Bucs, obviously, and your questions. So if you're watching on TV, which I'm looking over, and you are watching on TV, we are up and running. So at the same time, flip it over. You can go on Facebook. I'm monitoring the feed, and I'll be able to look at all of your questions. Back in 90 seconds as DPL continues. So we are still streaming right now.
Nice.
You notice this is
right.
I now run Master Control as well.
I see
There's
that.
my commercial button. So
Good
I hit that for the
job.
commercial. So
Good job.
everybody, Rock Riley, hold on to the chair.
Tell me
'cause
where
there's
I
a-
should go.
just jump in. All right, I will
do you
scoot you
think?
over,
All
and
right.
Derek, your close-up camera will be on 2.
Gotcha.
Our 2 shot will be on
Beautiful.
1.
Beautiful.
Derek, do you want to check the shot and see if I'm in it? Because sometimes, oh, that's perfect. There you are. There you are on 2, and 2 shot on 1. And we are back in 57 seconds. So we are good. And there's the break on the commercial right up there.
Nice.
So thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. I was asking our producer, Jocelyn, I'm like, because I know you always come in for the draft.
Right.
But you were saying this year you're going to be doing stuff with the radio.
Just Thursday. But everything else,
Yeah,
I like it here. They're
well,
good people.
it's fun.
Good people are here.
And Paul Agrone is
Paul's the
a
man.
huge Bucs fan. And he's grew up. He's spent all his life here, so he knows the area. So, guys, if you're watching, go ahead and just follow up with the questions. Hannah's like, Rock Riley in the house with Daniel. So, local legend. It's crazy that we were talking that we both started the same year.
It's unbelievable.
Back in '94. I mean, that was
unbelievable.
the business has changed in those years.
But you're doing even better now.
I don't know about that, man.
See?
I get to run my own show while wearing a hoodie.
That's
so
awesome.
who would have thought of that?
That's awesome.
All right, so let me see that. Okay, we have. I guess we're back. We're back. I'm looking over there. So, hey, everybody watching on the spot, which the Bolts play tomorrow, correct? All
Game
right.
2.
Game 2. So, everybody, Rock Riley, everybody, and watching on the spot. So we were just talking on social, answering your questions. If you have any questions for Rock, be sure to pop them up on our Facebook feed. Thank you for joining Dennis Phillips Live. We have got so many things going on these days in sports.
You could basically do sports if you had to, because I know that you do love your sports.
I do.
But you are numero uno, man, when it comes to weather.
Man,
especially when the storm, especially during the rainy season, I'm like locked in. I have so many friends, and they're like, "Oh, I even get an update from him, and am I going to take off? Should we stay? Should we hunker down?" And seriously, you are the man.
Well, I appreciate it. And I've watched you for, literally for 30 years, because we started about the same time. And we got a lot of things going on. So first of all, since we are live on the spot, Bolts game 2 tomorrow. You got any feedback or anything thinking about after watching game 1?
Yeah, when you really look at it, I think that really the Lightning are a little bit more experienced and they are more talented, but you know how it goes. You don't win on paper. And so John Cooper said after the loss, it was stupid penalties. And I'm just using what John Cooper, the Lightning head coach, said. And the thing is, they know now that they're down 1-0. The thing is, they have not been able to do well for some reason playing at home. It's a great environment. If you look at their record at home in the playoffs, it isn't good. But nobody cares about what you did. It's about the next game. So I think that they'll correct. They will be on their P's and Q's. You're already down. You cannot afford to lose a second game. I do see them winning against Montreal tomorrow night.
Yeah, I saw that. I was actually driving home from Disney yesterday, and I was listening to the game on the radio, and Dave Michigan gave a stat that blew me away, that they have lost 10 of their last 11 home playoff games. That's crazy. I mean, they were swept one year, but that's just not what you would expect ever for a playoff hockey team. I mean, you could say bad luck, I guess you could say whatever, but you're right. I think they corrected. And do you think this goes 7?
I don't care whether it goes 7. I don't care whether it goes 6. I just want the Lightning to advance. Yeah. Dennis, it has been. We've been spoiled because the Lightning are so good. And usually things go, you know how it goes, in waves. And it's very hard to stay at the top. But the last 3 years in a row, the Lightning have been eliminated in the first round. So you don't want to make that a pattern. I think it's going to be a crazy environment. And it's weird because the Lightning have sold out at home, used to be Amalie, now it's Benchmark, since 2014, every single game. Also, the environment is so good. Do you know it's called Lightning Live? It's the in-game experience. When you go in there, it is an experience. They won the award, Best in all the NHL. So, I mean, it's a great environment. I don't know why they haven't been able to win in the playoffs at home. But like I said, I think they were the better team. Montreal's good now.
Yeah, they are.
Montreal is good. So they can't, and they're younger. That's another thing, too. Father Time is undefeated.
Matter
you know
of fact,
that.
wasn't that the Montreal, wasn't that his first playoff start in Stanley Cup, and he got the W?
Yep.
Daniel's mentioning, can the Lightning please stop turning the puck over in our zone?
That's four in the offensive zone. And Cooper even said, when do you ever see that? You usually don't. There's also been a knock now they haven't been good with the penalty kill. Well, when you give up a lot of penalties, if you only give up 2 and you kill 1, it's 50%. That's not great, but you can possibly win and advance with that. It was just too many mistakes on the first night. Vasilevsky wasn't himself. Kucherov, who was an all-world scorer, he's not able to. He gets assists, but he's not able to put the puck in the net when it comes to playoff time. So they got to get it corrected, and you can't wait too long, Dennis. Got to do it tomorrow.
One other quick question, then we got to hit a break. So they got the captain back. They got Victor Hedman back.
Yes.
I did not see if he was on the ice yesterday. I actually did not even see that.
He didn't play in the game, but he did skate, and he did skate today. Now, they don't tell. The Lightning, you ever see it? Upper body, lower body.
There's never specifics.
It might also be something other than that, which
could be a family thing that we don't know.
It could be. But he did skate again today, so I'm hoping we'll see him.
Okay, awesome. And all right, so here's what we're going to do. And yeah, Sean's saying the same thing. The PK is bad. The power play has not been good. But again, it's nothing that one victory won't cure, right? And all of a sudden, if they're 1-1, going back to Montreal, this team has played well on the road.
Right.
So you'd think, and it probably does go 6 or 7, maybe even 7, and every one of those games you'll be able to watch right here on The Spot. Speaking of The Spot, we'll be back in 90 seconds, and we're going to get into the NFL draft and maybe talk a little bit of Rays baseball with Rock Riley here. We're back in 90 seconds. All right.
Cool.
Break going. That was good.
Beautiful.
What other questions we got? Oh, lots of props to you. Rock is the best. Rock is the man.
I had a lot of people type that in.
So, what are you thinking? Well, okay, so
it could be draft. It could be even Mike Evans leaving.
Let's talk all that.
You know all this.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they just go defense. It just seems.
I'm hoping they do.
I think that's the
I'm
way
hoping
they're
they
gonna
do.
go. Yeah.
I'm hoping they do.
Yeah. I did have one of my tabs open. How much time we got left? 51. Okay. This was just one of the. So obviously Mendoza is going to be the number 1 pick to the Raiders.
Yep, because the GOAT,
which is
part owner.
Is funny though, because Mendoza is, he's a good guy.
Right.
And he's going to be going to Sin City. There's got to be a little story going on there.
Good.
I don't know.
Good. No,
that was interesting.
Maybe it'll change him.
Yeah, I wonder. I thought that was kind of fascinating. Of all the places he goes, is going to Vegas. All right, back in 20 seconds. And this will probably only be about a 5 or 6 minute hit, and then we'll have another break, and then we'll do the last. As time flies on the show.
Wow.
But then we can continue a little bit on Facebook
So
as well.
do you like doing this?
It's fun. It's just a lot of buttons to press.
You're good ad-libber, man.
Back in 3, 2. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Dennis Phillips Live. Rock Riley in the house. Let's jump right into the NFL draft. Thursday night, which, by the way, the draft will be live on ABC, so you can check it out on our station Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So what do you think? How's it going to shape up for the Bucs?
Look, last year we all thought you got to go defense, and then it was wide receiver. What? Emeka Egbuka. But you know what? That did turn out to be pretty good.
It was pretty awesome, right?
And
especially when Evans went down.
There you go. You're right. I told you could do sports. So, look, you never know. You know what they say, Dennis? And this is what Jason Light said, and this is what Todd Bowles said. You don't, with your first pick, you don't draft for need. You draft the best player available that's on your board. You know what? I want them to go defense because it's a year later and defense is still a problem. Give me an edge, somebody that can get to the quarterback. I'd even take an inside linebacker because Levante David, he retired. So I really hope that they do go defense in that first round. Right now, they're at number 15. Jason Light does not like to make moves, and he doesn't like to give up draft capital, but he also admitted, and he said it a couple of times, Dennis. He said it at the Combine. He said it at the owners' meetings. He said this year might be a little bit different. They're at 15. Somebody calls. I asked him about that. I said, what about trading down? Because you have so many needs. He goes, that might be a possibility, but you have to have a trade partner. Yeah, just because we want to trade, somebody has to call you, and it has to be somebody that they need. They might do that, but I want to go defense. What do you think?
It is a philosophy, the best player available, you know. But if it's a position that you just don't need, everybody knows the defense needs some help. And it just makes a lot of sense. I'm kind of with you on that. By the way, a couple things here. So Hannah says, Toe Rock, Keenan and Hannah say hi.
Hi.
So,
pleasure.
And Anna Maria wants to hear you say, this is Rock Riley. It's in your head. So she wants to hear like you when you're on TV.
Okay. This is Rock Riley with the great Dennis Phillips.
That's pretty good. Thank you. All right. So we got some of these. So what about Mendoza? We were talking about this. I'm intrigued by the Indiana quarterback because they signed Kirk Cousins. You see, the Raiders signed Kirk Cousins. And you wonder, is it going to be a situation where when Penix went to Atlanta and Cousins had a fit, because remember, he was supposed to be the starter. So now is he going to go to the Raiders with the knowledge of knowing that he might be a mentor for Mendoza, or is Mendoza just going to start?
Well, now they don't have to rush him. Normally now, back in our day, we're going to talk like that. It used to be that you would have the whole year. No, everything is now. You got to be now. But remember, the GOAT, Tom Brady, which I don't understand how they allow this, Dennis. He is the lead on Fox, the #1 team. He's the part owner of the Raiders. And he's making a lot of moves with John Spytek, who's the general manager, who used to be here as the assistant general manager with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're both Michigan guys. So Brady flew back. He flew to Vegas. He was in the facility when they brought Fernando Mendoza in. So it's a great place, actually, for Mendoza because he can be mentored by Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. You do have Kirk Cousins, just in case, maybe a game or two if he's not quite ready. I did listen to Kirk Cousins. He knows when you're at this stage of your career, you're brought in as a mentor. You're ready to go if they need you, but also he's got Fernando Mendoza he can learn from him, and he can learn from Tom Brady. So that's an interesting situation because you heard Mendoza. He's straight and narrow.
Yeah, he is.
He says all the right things, and here he's going to
Vegas.
Lost wages.
City. So I'm looking at some of the, I love the mock drafts and whatnot, and one of these is picking, Bucs they're going with Mason Thomas, who's an edge rusher.
Yes.
Edge rusher from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And saying the same thing. Bucs need a youth infusion on defense.
You do need. That's why it's called NFL, not for long. All the years that I've talked to NFL players, they all tell me the same thing. They are not the same physically when they are 6 years, 7 years, 8 years in from when they first came in at 22 years old. You can do all the training that you want and everything else, but you're not the same. It's a young man. It is a young man's game. Yeah. That's why it amazes me that Evans is still playing at a pretty high level. And I know probably Tampa Bay fans don't even want to hear about Mike Evans, but also Levante David playing as long as he played.
Yeah, and that was the second round. In the first round, they're hinting at the cornerback from Tennessee, McCoy. So two defensive guys.
You know what? That's fine too. You do have two cornerbacks. Zion McCollum, they gave him a lot of money last year. Sometimes guys, they changes them. You give them a lot of money. Mm-hmm. He did not play that well. So there's another position. Again, defense, if it's me or Dennis Phillips.
Yeah, and Daniel's saying Keldrick Falk, defensive end from Auburn, is a possibility too. And the one thing about McCoy, I do remember he tore his ACL last year. He was out last year, but it's one of those things where they believe in the talent. You come back and you might get a bargain for somebody that might have been a top 10 pick.
You're exactly right.
Before the injury.
That's exactly right. He tore his ACL. And when I first heard about that, I'm like, you would invest your #1 pick with a guy that tore his ACL? But when he had his pro day, Oh my God, he ran like a 4.3. He had a high vertical. So they look at that. And you know what, Dennis? When they're going to pick number one, they're investing so much money. They do so much studying. They will go back to his high school. They'll go back to his elementary school. They will put spies on planes to see how he reacts on flights. That's how much work that they will put into it. So if the trainers say that he looks like he's going to be okay, you're right. That might be a good pick.
All right. Well, that's the NFL Draft. Again, you'll be able to see it on ABC Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Back in 90 seconds with the last segment of Dennis Phillips Live with Rock Riley. Okay, we're in our break, and we literally are going to have 2.5 minutes for the last segment, but we also can continue on Facebook Live too. So, do you want to talk? You want to talk race?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I mean, what else? What do you think the last segment? What do you want to cover?
No, that sounds.
There's something you didn't
fine.
cover that you want to look at on here?
No, not really. No, we can talk race.
Okay.
New owners, new stadium.
Oh yeah, the stadium.
That's a topic.
Yeah. It is.
Got to get it done. Got to get it done.
I just, I know nothing about it, but I just can't imagine that they don't get it done. I just think it's going to happen eventually.
Got to.
I mean.
Got to.
Yeah, it's just.
You'll be close.
Yeah.
You'll be able to go.
Just walk right across the street.
You're a baseball guy.
Yeah, I mean, it would be awesome.
That VIP, Dennis Phillips, he's right in here, right down front.
Yeah. Daniel says he wants to talk about WrestleMania. No, Daniel, that ain't going to happen. Do you know what? I remember I went to the first WrestleMania. The first one, I saw it on pay-per-view. I was at Penn State, and I actually went and paid $15 at the War Memorial in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, to watch.
Is that what the first one was?
No, but that's where I watched it simulcast.
On
watched
closed,
pay-per-view, closed caption, whatever, or closed circuit. That's it.
Closed circuit.
Yeah, those are the good old days. All right, we're back in 5, 4, 3. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Dennis Phillips Live. This show just flies by when we have a guest like Rock, who's just got some great information. We only have a couple of minutes left, but we figured we'd talk about the Rays, how they're doing on the field, and what's up with the stadium potentially as well. I mean, those are two huge topics, and we have literally 2 minutes.
I swear to God, I've talked to so many so-called baseball experts before the season began. Everybody is picking the Rays to finish last in the AL East, the high payroll AL East. I think they've done very well. They play a little bit of small ball. You're going to win with pitching and defense? We'll see. It's a long season, but the vibe is good. Shane McClanahan said, first road trip, hey, let's go to dinner. Meet down in the lobby. He got down in the lobby. 16 Rays players all went out to dinner. He goes, I've never seen that before. It's a really, really good bunch, and that can go a long way.
It can. The bullpens had a little trouble early on, but that's something that's usually their strength.
Yep.
So you'd like to think that they'll turn it around. And some of the youth, Chandler Simpson has been phenomenal. Yeah, so fast and so great to watch. You've got Junior and everybody else. So, yeah, and we were talking about the stadium. I mean, I will tell you, I mean, their goal is 2029. Man, that's a pretty aggressive goal to get a stadium built in 3 years, less than 3 years, and have it ready to roll. But that's what they're talking about, right?
Here's the thing. When you apply to be an owner of a Major League Baseball team, you have to get approval from all the owners. They don't let any Tom, Dick, and Harry who has billions of dollars come in to run the team. They look with a fine-tooth comb at all of their finances. They came away with flying colors. We're not knowing a lot that's going on behind the scenes with these guys. They looked at the Battery in Atlanta, for anybody that's been familiar with that, what that's brought in. Like I said the other day, I was on with Roxanne and them here. Maybe there'll be a new zip code over here. Work, live, and play. It's not just the stadium. So I think and I hope that it does get done.
Yeah, you and me both. So time flew. We are going to continue for a few minutes on Facebook. Remember, tomorrow night, Game 2, Bolts and the Canadians. Puck drop. I'm not sure what time it is.
7:10. I forgot. Paige Wise is a huge Dennis Phillips fan, and when I said I'm going on with Dennis Phillips, oh my God, please, you're the man.
Thanks,
no, he's
Paige.
the man.
Got to run. All right, thanks for watching The Spot. Watch the Bolts game tomorrow. All right, we are out on TV. We are still live on streaming. So there we go. Now, okay, you know what? There was another. We didn't have time for this.
Yeah.
What about the upgrades to Ray J? So that's interesting because you've literally got $1.2 billion. I think that's what isn't that the estimated cost for the stadium, the baseball stadium? I thought that's what it was. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think it's 2.
Oh, it's more? Okay.
I think it's 2, and that cost keeps on going up just like everything else, Dennis.
And that's also an interesting thing because part of the deal that they were working on is that anything that would be cost for the overage would be paid for by the Rays.
Right.
And that was a sticking point with Stu.
Yes.
I mean, that was when they were looking at St. Pete, I mean, you wonder if after the hurricane, if the Rays were ever really serious about keeping that team at the Trop.
Right. Exactly right.
You have to say it, right? I mean, you just do. I mean, were they, and it's water under the bridge at this point because it's over. But you know, I do remember that was one of the sticking points, that the team was not willing or able to pay for the overages. What I'm hearing, what part of the plan is that they would pay for the overages. And that could be a big thing.
You're exactly right. They're going to chip in one bill, and they will pay for the overages. Thing about it is, you had to have somebody new come in because Hillsborough didn't want to deal with Stu. Pinellas didn't want to deal with Stu. Tampa didn't want to deal with Stu. St. Pete didn't want to deal with Stu. So, I mean, you had to have new ownership.
Yeah.
And they're all excited. There's that new vibe. So I really think that it will get done. They don't want to leave, but it's going to be nasty. There's negotiations. It doesn't happen overnight. You know how it goes, so don't try to get too caught up. It's almost like the stock market. I got a couple of stocks. I just let him go. Let him go. I have another guy that every day he's checking everything. No, I'm not going to go like that. Same thing when you hear about these negotiations with the Rays.
Now, Ray J, and again, for some reason the number's sticking in my head. I thought I remember reading something $1.8 billion for renovations.
I don't know exactly. I know it's a lot. I know it is a lot. I know it's a lot of money. Even though you are the man, you don't have that kind of money, right, Dennis Phillips?
Yeah.
No?
Now, are they talking about the renditions? I thought I saw a cover.
Oh, I would love that. I have been saying that. It is 2026 for fans. How many fans have you heard? Man, I used to have season tickets, but I just can't. I gave them up because I can't sit there in September, in October, in that sun, in that heat. Do what the Miami Dolphins did in Hard Rock. Put a cover over, at least for the fans. Or maybe the way they have it in Miami, the sun hits the opposing bench. You can do that, but at least put something over it. My brother-in-law worked in the NFL offices. He just got back to Marriott, but he was there on Park Avenue, okay, just until a couple of months ago. Roger Goodell, right across from him. He told me, you don't need a new stadium to get another Super Bowl to keep up because they're building these monstrosities, but you do need to upgrade. The new in thing is build suites ground level. That's the new in thing. There are things that they can do to Raymond James Stadium so you can get Super Bowls, national championships, big events, but you don't have to tear it down, but you do have to keep up with the Joneses. That's just how it's going, Dennis.
You know what's funny is, and I know you heard this last year as well, so when the Rays played their games at Steinbrenner, for the first couple of months, everybody's like, and by the way, I'm one of the few who, even in Florida, prefers outdoor baseball. I do.
Okay.
I like the heat.
Okay.
I understand I'm in the minority. But remember how many people were saying, oh, I can't wait. It's outdoor baseball like it's meant to be.
Yeah.
And then by July and August, they're like, oh, my God, I can't deal with this outdoor baseball.
Yes.
So I think that's interesting that you were talking about the Bucs, because if you are on the east, if you're on the the east side of the stadium, when the sun goes into the afternoon, you get that sun right into you, and people, they're miserable in that heat.
It's terrible. It's terrible. I really think they should do that. I'm hoping they will do that. I know Joel Glazer's the Glazers, they're a big fan of you. Maybe they're watching you on Facebook. Maybe they'll listen to Dennis Phillips. But please, please put a covering over it. Seriously. And then we can still get Super Bowls and things like that.
Well, if it's well over $1 billion, you'd think that has to be in the works. Because, I mean, $1 billion is a lot of money.
I know.
So you would think that has to include a cover. I can't, I mean, and I heard 1.8 billion. I may be wrong, but that's where I read somewhere. Now, Michael just said that Jacksonville is spending $2 billion for renovations.
Yes. And so they're going to play, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to play while they're doing the work. And then this season in their stadium, Next season, they're going to play at Camping World in Orlando. But yeah, $2 million in renovations. It might even get to that. Who knows how high it's going to get? The longer you wait.
Yeah. And in Florida, I mean, I do think it makes sense, especially with the baseball stadium. But, you know, even with football games, I mean, people want to be comfortable.
Yes. Yes.
That's really what
no,
it is.
That's how it is.
They want to be pampered and taken care of. And if you're sweating bullets, if you're out there and it's 95 degrees and it feels like in September it's 110. In fact, remember when they used to have 2-a-days? And you know, the players...
We're old enough to know 3 days.
Right.
And then they went to 2.
And those players out there, the first couple of weeks, Bucs players, they're dying in the heat.
Yeah.
And they always pitch it as, yeah, but in September we're going to have an advantage over the other team because they can't handle the heat.
Does that
I don't
work?
think either. I don't think either team could handle the heat at that point.
There was a player a long time ago. He was a former Gator. And his name was Scott Brantley. I'm going way back. He was a very hard hitter.
Scott.
And he used to say, he goes, and he had a drawl, remember that? He goes, we had 3-a-days, and by the time the season started, we were plumb wore out. Yeah. I mean, so I don't know if that's an advantage. I really don't. I remember Brady. Brady said, this was the greatest place to play when it got to November and December. He would talk to Clyde Christensen, who was the quarterback's coach, and he'd go, Clyde, what's it today? Is it a 10? Is it a 9? But when Brady retired, what are you not going to miss? Putting on a helmet during training camp in Tampa in late July. So it is pretty hard because they've got all that equipment on and they're out there.
Yeah, it's miserable. And then, you know, you're also dealing with the thunderstorms. I mean, I used to get calls from refs, mostly in the exhibition games, not as much in the regular season. But, you know, if there was lightning anywhere near, then you got to clear the stadium. You got to, and that is a thing in Florida in August and September. So we've agreed right now. Just go ahead and put a roof on it.
Please, please, please. You know what I thought you were going to say? When you were talking about baseball and you were talking about Raymond James Stadium, I thought you were going to say when the Savannah Bananas played at Raymond James Stadium, it looked really cool, but talk about a short porch, and then center field was so long because people are like, why can't they play at Raymond James Stadium?
I was at that game. I went to that game.
You were at that game?
Yeah, I was. And as a matter of fact, my son just saw them play at the Superdome, and my daughter has tickets to see them play at Coors Field in Denver. Because, I mean, who would ever thunk the Savannah Bananas would now be nationally televised on ESPN and all their games? And I mean, they are the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
That's a perfect way to put it.
And it's a blast. Well, so we've covered the Bolts, we've covered the Rays, we've covered the Bucs, and you are going to be, remind everybody where you're going to be coming up this week.
Okay, so Thursday night. Now, again, you want to be tuned in here. If you want to have a little peace and listen radio, but you want to be watching here because you guys are going to have live coverage, Tampa Bay 28?
Yes, we will be on.
So Thursday night. We will also be, for season ticket holders, Buccaneer fans, the party. If you are a season ticket holder and you normally go to Raymond James Stadium, you might not know. There's an event at Raymond James Stadium. So they're going to have the Buccaneers official draft party on Central Avenue in downtown St. Pete. So we'll see how that goes. When you're mixing in a lot of fans and a lot of partying, hopefully everything will go okay, Dennis.
Yeah, well, probably depending on if they like the draft choices too. I mean,
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, so
you're right.
So round 1 is on Thursday.
Yep.
Rounds 2 through 5, or is it just 2? Is it a couple?
3, and 4 on
over the weekend on Saturday.
And then Sunday's the long day where just have it on in the background. It's you know, it's very hard to keep up. Whatever, 295 players.
Well, thank you so much for coming out, Rock. I really appreciate it.
Honor, Dennis. You're the man.
You know, we've had Rock on many times for the coverage. He's doing radio this year. We'll see on Friday night if Paul is doing any extended coverage. So
I'm over there.
Yeah, it's always a blast. Thanks for coming, y'all. Thanks again. Remember, tomorrow morning, 50s and even upper 40s. So you have been warm. It's going to be a little cool. Have a great night, and we will see you on tomorrow night's edition of Dennis Phillips Live. See you guys.